Have you been running your business by the seat of your pants, making money, but knowing that you're really not making the type of money that you should be making? Not to mention the fact that you know if you dove into your business numbers, you would be able to grow your business that much more, and more importantly, you would be able to grow those profits. Well, today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the most powerful tool that you have in order for you to grow your business and, more importantly, grow those profits. Hey, badass business owners, my name is Tammy, and I'm here to help you grow your business, but more importantly, grow those profits. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at the most powerful tool you have, your profit and loss statement. Now, for some of you, you have no idea what I'm even talking about, so you definitely want to pay attention because you need to know this. Your profit and loss statement is your report card of your business, and it tells you all kinds of good, juicy information, especially the better you get at reading it. Now, I already hear some of you. I don't like math. I don't like numbers. Tammy, you don't understand. No, I do understand. What you don't understand is you cannot grow the way you want to, and you cannot make the profit that you need to without diving into your business numbers. But here's the thing. I'm going to help you learn to love math because your profit and loss isn't about you doing math, and it's not about you becoming a guru on numbers. It's about learning how to read the numbers. The numbers are telling you a story, and I think that once you understand how to link the numbers to the story, you're going to fall in love with the story. Well, sometimes you won't fall in love with the story, at least not in the beginning. We're going to help you fall in love with it. But you're going to start loving the fact that your numbers are telling you a story about your business, and it's going to tell you how to start growing it and how to start making more money. So what I thought about doing instead of just talking about it is that I'm going to pull it up on the computer, and we're actually going to walk through the basics of the profit and loss statement. Now, for some of you, you're going to want more than what we're going to go over today. And I have a couple of videos that I'll reference in the notes below, as well as some links and stuff like that, because I have videos that dive in even deeper. And I have a course for you to know your business numbers where I walk through very basically to help you understand that. But for today, let's even get to know what on earth is a profit and loss statement and how does it help you out. So with that, we're going to go to the computer and I'm going to pull one up and we're going to walk through what it's telling you. So let's get over there. Okay, we're going to start looking at a basic generic income statement. Sometimes these are going to be called profit and loss statement. Sometimes it'll be P&L, profit and loss income statement, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, what it's telling you is the flow of money through your business. And it's broken down into some core categories. First category is going to be income. The next category is going to be cost of goods, operational expenses, and profits, basically your ordinary income that you make. There's also a fifth section here called gross profit. Now, don't worry, I'm going to break down each one of them so that you understand them a little bit better. But just know it's the flow of money. You've got money coming in, you got money going out to do whatever it is that you do to run your business, and then finally there's some money left over, and we typically call this profit or net income. But don't worry, you're going to spend some of that money too. It's just not here on the P&L, but I'll go over that when we get to that section. So let's go ahead and start with the income section and what it is telling you. So let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay. On your income section, basically what's going to happen is you are going to be seeing all the different money that you have coming into your business. In our particular example here, this happens to show the month of November. And then over here, don't get hung up on it, but this is just year-to-date January through November. My version will have percentages on here. I cover that later, but for right now, you're going to focus on these dollar amounts. Now, in this particular case, this business owner has it broken down by services that they provide, products that they sell, there's other money that they've made, and then obviously they've got some returns and refunds that they've done. And then your total income is what they've brought in. So for many of you, you've got just one line. I've seen most people have one line for their income. It's all their sales coming in because they dump them in through some app that they use, and they just put those sales in and they lump them all together. You'll see here, I've got it broken out. I like it broken out because I want to know what parts of my business are creating the most money. So do I make X amount from retail sales? Do I make X amount from residential sales? Whatever it is, I want to be able to know exactly where that money's coming in. If you have different parts of your business, being able to break it down is really helpful. For example, the other day I was helping someone out and they happen to have 2 locations, so we just broke it out by each of their locations. Some people do different things. For example, if someone does roofing repairs, and then they also clean gutters. You want to separate the gutters out from the roof that they do. Whatever the case may be, you want to break down your income. But at the end of the day, it is all of the money that is coming into the business. And earlier you saw the percentages. 100%. That's all the money that comes in, and that's why you see the 100% on there. Not everybody's programs will put percentages, so just know that your version of this, whatever system you use, I personally like QuickBooks, but whatever version you have, you are going to want to have the dollar amount at minimum, and then the percentages definitely help. But you got to have some kind of system. I recommend QuickBooks. I just find it the easiest for people to pick up and to be able to use. Now, the next section is going to be cost of goods sold. Now, under cost of goods sold, this is any money that you spend to either make the product that you sell or to provide the service that you do. So for example, if I make candles, it's going to be all the materials and ingredients to make those candles. Those are going to be the material costs. If I happen to install water heaters, I'm going to have the water heaters and all the parts to do that, plus the labor to do it as well. And I've got to take 2 hours to install that, so I'm going to have 2 hours of labor that's in there. If I make those candles, it might take me an hour to make those candles, so I'm going to have some labor involved as well. Now, if I just buy a candle, then turn around and sell a candle, there is no labor because I'm not making my product. So labor is one that creates a lot of confusion, and I have a lot of other videos out there that will help you on this. But labor to make a product or labor to provide a service is technically a cost of goods sold, because what you're giving someone is the water install. They're paying to have it installed. So that is part of the actual thing. You cannot put the water heater in without some labor. If you make candles, you cannot have a candle unless you make it. So there's labor involved. However, if you buy one and then turn around and resell it, then there is no labor involved because you're just reselling what it is that you did. I know labor can get really confusing, and like I said, I have some other videos on this, but the main thing that you need to remember for cost of goods sold is that it's the materials that you use to provide the product or service and the labor you use to either make or produce the product or to provide the service. I will tell you now, this is probably the number one category that is missing on so many people's P&L. And what's happening is it's really messing them up in regards to understanding how profitable their business really is. And here's another reason why. Because most of you are not putting in your own labor because you are actually the labor that's providing the service. You're a solopreneur. You're the only one doing it. So what you're doing is you're just taking out money out of the business. You're not accounting for labor. And when you do that, what ends up happening is you are not accounting for the true cost of either making that product or providing that service. So even though you're paying yourself as an owner's draw, you still want to put something in there so that way you can track exactly how much money you're really making in your business if you were to replace yourself in the business. It's still money that's going to you. You're still going to get taxed on it later on. You do not need to have a payroll or anything like that, but it does account for it so you have a clean P&L. So you want to have your wages under here to make or produce the product or the service. You want to have the cost, the materials for making the product or providing the service. And then you'll see here, if you have independent contractors, you hire anybody to help you with it, they're going to be here as well because you need them to be an extra set of hands. And that's where you're going to get that. So that's your cost of goods. Then what happens is you see this one little line on your P&L for most of you, and it's going to say gross profit. And all the gross profit is saying that if you take your income and you subtract what your cost of goods are, you're going to get what your gross profit is. And your gross profit is any money that you've made prior to paying the business's expenses. So in this case, the sales were $36,000. Then over here, the cost of goods was $17,000, leaving a gross profit of $18,000. And we go to percentages. If sales were 100%, 48% of that, so almost half, went towards cost of goods, which left 52% basically for gross profit before we paid anything else to do with this business. Now, the next section that you're going to have on your P&L is your operational expenses. Your operational expenses are basically any other money that you spend in your business. And you're going to have categories such as advertising, auto and truck, bank services, credit cards, insurance, payroll expenses, because you've got the money you pay them to do the service or to make the product, but then you have other payroll costs that are involved with having employees if you use a payroll system. Those are operational. They're going to be down here. If you have other people that work in your business that do not provide or make the product or the service, they're going to be labor hours underneath your expenses. Typically, this might be a scheduler, someone who answers the phones, stuff like that. So those are going to be admin wages in most cases. You're going to have all kinds of different things that are going to be on here. Telephones, you get the point. Basically, any other money that you spend in your business is going to be an operational expense. And in this case, you're going to see that there are a lot of nickel and dime stuff, small stuff. Sometimes you don't have any costs with them. Sometimes your auto and truck, for example, our maintenance will go up and down because you might have something hit you this month, but it doesn't hit you the next month. So it's never going to be an exact science for each month. But what you're looking for is going to be, on average, how much do you spend in that particular month? And in this case, we can see here all the different money that this particular business had spent for a total of $7,000 for the month of November. And then over here, since we got year to date, they've spent $84,000, almost $85,000. You'll see here in the month, they spent 20% of the money that came in went to expenses. But for the year, they've been actually trending more like 23%. It just means that some things weren't charged this particular month and other months are higher. But it gives you an idea, because when you're pricing stuff, you want to use the percentage to know that anything that you price, you got to have a certain amount of money coming out for your cost of goods, and you got to bank on the fact that some of that money is going to go to your expenses. And that's why I like percentages, because in this case, if this business is running 23% typically of operational expenses, that means 23 cents out of every dollar they make has to be set aside to pay their bills. Now, once again, I have other videos. I go into more depth on this. I'm going to continue to create more videos on this, as well as I have the Know Your Business Numbers course that you'll find a link in the show notes. But the more you learn to understand all of this, the better you're going to be at making money in your business. So how did this business do? Well, once again, we have our income, money coming in, minus our cost of goods, minus our expenses. And then our final line on here is called ordinary income, net income. It's going to say a lot of those different things. And you're going to see that this business made $11,000 or 31.3%. Year to date, they've made 110, almost 111, and 30% profitability in this business after they pay their costs and after they pay the wages, including themselves. Because once again, you wear two hats in your business. You have the business owner you, and you have the employee you. We want to make sure we capture the employee you in your P&L, because otherwise you will not know how truly profitable your business is. The business owner you gets paid out of the profitability of the business. So you get a fair wage as an employee, but you get owner's wages off of the profitability. But keep in mind, you do not pocket this $11,000. You have to set money aside for taxes, and that might be a third of that. It might be 20% of that. It depends upon what tax bracket you're in. But you also need to retain earnings, keeping money in the business. Why do you want to keep money in the business? Because you want to grow the business. You might have bills that are outstanding that are coming. You need to have money in the business. You might have wages coming up that you don't have, that the next payroll's in the next month. You need to have money in the business. You might want to go out and buy $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of materials, and you need to have money in the business. So retained earnings are going to come out of this as well. So let's just say a third. A third's going to go to taxes, a third's going to retained in the business, and a third you're going to take as the owner for the owner's draw. In which case, the business made $110,000, but they might have set aside maybe $30,000 for their taxes. Another $30,000 is in the bank account so that they can grow the business. And then they've pocketed the other, $50,000 for their particular owner's draw because of the success of the business. So your P&L, as you can see, has a lot of good, juicy information on here. It gets better. When you start looking at it by month, then it's going to tell you even more because you can see a trend. And when you stack year on top of year, it really becomes powerful. Because what if you found out that this particular November, the business made $11,000, but last November, it lost $2,000? That would tell you a lot about the profitability of the business, and something went really well or something went horribly wrong the year prior. Or it could just be they figured out their stuff and they started doing better. A lot of times when we start stacking these numbers on top of each other, we can start seeing trends and start saying, hey, I do really well when I do this. Or, hey, why am I not making the same amount of money? Maybe this $11,000 looks good. We high five ourselves only to find out last November they made $15,000. If they made $15,000 last year and this year it's only 11, this business has a problem. Why are they making less money than what they made before? Same thing with the percentages, why I like them, because everything's a percentage of sales. So the 110.9 divided by the 369 is what gave us this 30%. But if this business is at 31.3, it's trending higher than it is year to date. But what if it said 25? If this was 25% and the normal is 30, what happened in that month? Why did we lose more money? It could be legit. We could have a bill that hits once a year. Some insurances will do that. Then we at least know that, hey, that $3,000 I spent that month was really spread out across the year, but the bill came due in this particular month, which is why this month is off. There's so many things that the numbers are telling you, and you'll notice we didn't do any math. The only thing that you remember that I preach all the time is sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals your profits. You hear me say that all the time in all of my videos. Sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits. Have you noticed it lines up with the P&L? It does that because it allows you now to take your pricing and anything else that you run in your business to say, hey, if I do a sale for $200, I need to know that some of it's going to cost of goods. More than likely, about half of it's going to go to cost of goods, but I also need to set some of it aside for operational expenses, about 20 to 23%, and I should be able to profit about 31% on it. Your pricing will follow in most cases your P&L. Some items will be higher, some items will be lower, but on average, this is what all of your sales tend to be. So hopefully this has helped you understand the P&L a little bit better. Let me pop back on the camera for a sec. Hey, it's me again. Now, you probably have noticed that I made it pretty simple as we walk through, and I only went over a small piece of what your profit and loss is telling you. Now, the most important thing that you have to do is it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you do not have good bookkeeping and you're not staying on top of it, or you're not doing it all, you're never going to have a profit and loss statement, which is why I always recommend to everybody that they use QuickBooks. I'll put a link below. I think they have a really easy system for you to use for your bookkeeping, but also they can print up these profit and loss really simple with the click, and it makes it so simple for you. But I also know that it still is going to be confusing. It's going to take a few tries for you to be able to understand your profit and loss. So like I said, I'm going to put a link below to the course that I have and to some videos that'll also pop up here on the screen that are really going to help you out to understand your profit and loss even better. And if you got some questions, put them in the comments below, because I would love to be able to try to answer those questions, or for us to put on future videos in the future for you. And with that, watch these videos. I'm out of here, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.